The term high earner, it's pretty subjective. But when it comes to international banking, there are some prerequisites you usually need to hit in order to fall into this category. So in this video, we're going to discuss account opening for individuals who earn at least $300,000 US per year before taxes. This is going to include the types of services, bank accounts, banks, and countries that high earners should target when opening accounts. But before we dive in, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure you get alerted every time we post new account opening opportunities. Here at GlobalBanks, we help individuals and businesses unlock the benefits of international banking by helping them find and open accounts with the best banks around the world. And today, we're talking about how to open a bank account as a high earner. Before we get started, we have a free non-resident banking starter guide designed to help non-resident and expats successfully open accounts, including high earners looking for accounts to save and invest their money. So don't forget to download your copy using the link in the description below. Now, to kick things off, let's talk about why high earners are thinking about international banking. Well, there's increasing concern about global economic instability. If that's something you're worried about, protecting your money by internationalizing your assets, cash, and bank accounts is something to consider. Like many people, high earners are opening bank accounts in stable jurisdictions, rebalancing investments, and moving savings into financial systems that they have more confidence in during an economic uncertainty. But regardless of your economic outlook, it always makes sense to diversify your assets, upgrade your banking, and increase the benefits you receive from your banking and investment relationships. The most important step for any high earner before opening accounts is determining what's important to them. In other words, what do you want to achieve with your banking relationships, and what are your personal goals? While this is entirely dependent on the individual, there are some ground rules that will point you in the right direction when getting started. Most high earners are looking for three things. First, the protection of their money. Next, being able to access their money when they want. And finally, specific bank products and services that meet their objectives. To start, let's take a closer look at safety and security. Now, safety isn't having your money sitting in a vault somewhere. Instead, it's minimizing the level of risk that your money will be exposed to. Of course, everyone's risk tolerance is different, but when it comes to banking, there are a lot of risks that can impact your accounts. After all, banks are managed by people. And from time to time, people make mistakes, poor judgments, and even sometimes commit crimes. Shocking, we know. And banking isn't devoid of such risks. And recent cases in Europe would suggest this kind of behavior, it isn't going anywhere fast. But there are other risks that you need to consider, such as the financial risks. Remember, banks only hold a small portion of customer deposits on hand. They loan out and invest the vast majority of customer funds in order to generate revenue for their operations. This means look for banks that are insulated from systemic risks and won't expose customer deposits to high-risk investing or poor lending practices. Fortunately, as a high earner, you should be able to access banks that have high levels of solvency and liquidity. In other words, very safe banks. Then there's the accessibility factor. This is about accessing your account and funds whenever and from wherever you see fit. Accessibility can mean things like being able to log into your online banking while on vacation in Thailand and making incoming and outgoing transfers. Executing transfers online without needing to take time from your day to physically visit a branch location. Not getting locked out of your account simply because you logged in and checked your balance while traveling for business. Not having your account restricted to a certain number of incoming or outgoing transfers each month. Not having your account frozen just because you made a larger than normal transfer, and much, much more. And lastly, when it comes to products and services, we're talking about investment products, funds, brokerage accounts, and fixed deposits, or CDs for our friends in the US. The products you can access are going to vary based on the banks you're targeting, the countries you're interested in, and your client profile. For instance, certain top banks in Singapore only offer very basic investment products to clients from the US, Canada, UK, and Europe, whereas clients from Asia can access a full suite of international investments. Now, most high earners typically look to make opening deposits in the range of $100,000 to $500,000 US. This tells us a few important things about the available banking options. First, you'll be able to access higher quality banks with strong financials that are more conservatively managed and generally present lower risk to your money. Secondly, banks catering to high earners offer better services and more profitable investment products that can't be found elsewhere. Additionally, when banking as a high earner and making an initial deposit in the $100,000 plus range, you can expect higher quality service and a dedicated banker or account manager. Finally, and this may already be clear, you are venturing into the world of either premier banking or private banking. The distinction between the two tiers of banking can sometimes be blurry, but in this case, it will likely depend on which country your bank is located in. More established banking jurisdictions, such as Switzerland, Liechtenstein, or Austria, may require an initial deposit of $500,000 or more to access the same services you can access with only $100,000 to $300,000 in places like the Isle of Man, Jersey, Andorra, or the US. So now that we've covered the main considerations when banking as a high earner, let's dig into where high earners should open bank accounts. As we've already discussed, when it comes to opening a bank account as a high earner, you need to make sure that the bank account, and the banker all meet your requirements. This means vetting the bank beforehand to make sure that it has the products you're looking for, a fee structure that won't bleed you dry, and the level of customer service that you require. But the big questions that you need answered are which country and which bank are best suited to your needs, your economic outlook, and the level of safety that you desire. If you're interested in a traditional banking experience and you're after well-managed banks with strong balance sheets, you might want to consider banking in a place like Switzerland. Just keep a close eye on the fees. Of course, you can access private banking hubs for a lower initial deposit with similar benefits in jurisdictions like Andorra, Singapore, and even Panama. Alternatively, if you're interested in a lower initial deposit, premium credit cards with travel benefits, and access to US stock markets, you might be interested in several premier banking options available in the United States. Now, if you're ready to start opening accounts, you have a few options. You can obviously get started by using the information that I've shared in this video. Or if you want to know which banks actually accept you, which countries to target for your specific objectives, and which account opening strategies to use to save time and money, then we'd be happy to help. All you need to do is join our flagship service, GlobalBanks Insider. With GlobalBanks Insider, you'll get instant access to our entire archive of banking intelligence reports. Each report shares an overview of the best banking options in each country, the specific account opening strategies to use, remote opening options for specific banks whenever possible, and direct contact information for attentive bankers. You will also get access to the GlobalBanks database, home to more than 250 banks from 50 plus countries, including detailed bank profiles, client preferences, and a whole lot more. Finally, you'll get real-time analyst support from our team of experts, ready to answer your most pressing banking questions and to make suggestions on which international banks you should consider to meet your objectives. Before signing off, don't forget to hit subscribe and go check out our other videos to gain more insights into the international banking world. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.